Hey guys, this is Will from WillX Book Reviews, and today I'm doing a movie and book review for the book Beautiful Creatures by Garcia and Margaret Stohl. I'm going to start by saying I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I just finished reading it seriously like 20 minutes ago, and it was really good. The movie was also very good, but I'll get to that in a second. I have a lot to say about the movie. Now in the movie, the ending was very different. I'll talk about the ending in a little bit, but that was the major thing that I had a problem with, like, regards to the movie. The movie ending was very different from the book. Like, I guess they totally rewrote it or something, because in the book, only like one of the things in the end that happens in the movie actually happened in the book. And I guess it was a major point, but the major thing they left out of the ending was pretty darn major. I'm going to warn you, what I'm about to say is a spoiler, but in the end of the book, Seraphim doesn't die. She's still alive. We don't know where she went. And also, Hunting is Macon's brother, Macon Ravenwood's brother. I'll get to the characters in a minute. But Hunting is also not in the movie, and I mean he's kind of important because he's like Seraphim's sidekick, but he's not in the movie, and he's kind of a big part in the book. The movie was very good also, but I liked the book a lot better. I felt like the characters were easier to connect with, and nothing was forced, and everything flowed very nicely. And also, the characters had a very good description in the book, but in the movie, I feel like you're expected to know the characters without knowing anything about them. Like in the book, there's a lot of time to discuss what the characters are like from the get-go, but in the movie, I feel like the characters are introduced very quickly, and I mean, from other characters' reactions to the other characters, you can easily assume what the person's like. But in the book, that's not the case. Every character is described very thoroughly, which I really liked. Now I'm going to talk about the characters. I'm going to start with Lena Ducan. She is a caster, which is kind of like a witch, but apparently in the caster world that's like a slang term that's kind of not really dirty, but it's like kind of rude to call a caster a witch. And I really like Lena. She has a really good attitude. She's a very good protagonist, I'd say. I really liked her attitude, but I mean sometimes the things she did were kind of annoying. Like, she's dating Ethan Waite, which I'll get to in a minute, but they're dating, and she's a caster and he's a mortal, and so they're supposed to not really get along together, but they fall in love, and she seems to have problems with it because she's like, in the future I won't be able to be with you, and he's all, I still love you, and that happens multiple times and it gets really annoying. Ethan Waite is a mortal, as I mentioned, and he's a very good character too. He's the mortal protagonist in this book. He is Lena's best friend, and he ends up being her boyfriend. And I really liked him too. His character was very strong. I really liked his character in the movie too. That was one thing about the movie I really liked, is Ethan's character was very major. Like, his character in the movie was portrayed very well. Also, Macon Ravenwood is Lena Ducan's dad, and I really liked him. He was a very good character in the movie too. I really liked his acting. And in the book, he plays a very important role because he's Lena's caretaker, and she doesn't have any other family. Seraphim, as I mentioned, is her mom, but she's kind of like the devil, and her dad is like nowhere to be found, and apparently in the book was killed by Seraphim, but I'm not sure about that. In the end, it got kind of confusing because you didn't know what was going on really, which was probably on purpose, but that's also one thing I didn't care about the book, and that's why it was a 4 out of 5 stars and mostly not a 5 out of 5 stars. Ethan's mom and dad in the movie are like not present at all, and in the book they play a major emotional role in Ethan's life. In the movie, his dad is like a recluse. He's in his study for like a majority of the movie. I didn't see him once in the movie, but in the book you find out lots of things about Ethan's dad, very important things about Ethan's dad, and very important things about his mom also. So their characters play a big role in the book, but they were totally non-existent in the movie, and that was kind of a bummer. Emma was probably my favorite character from the book. She's played by, what's her name? Viola Davis, that's her name. She's played by Viola Davis, and I loved her. She's also in The Help. I really liked her in the book, and I really liked her in the movie. And in the book, she's called a seer, which I'll get into in a minute, which I keep saying. There's just so much to talk about this book, and I have so little time to talk about it. But Emma is a very good character. She's really funny, and she is Ethan Waite's caretaker, and I really liked her. She was funny. She was funny. And of course, Seraphine, you find out, is Lena's mom, and she's like the evil antagonist in the whole book. And in the movie, she wasn't very evil. In the book, you hear about lots of evil things she does, but in the movie, there was like, you didn't know anything evil that she did, so you weren't really sure why you were afraid of her in the movie, because she didn't do anything. And the last character I'm going to discuss is Ridley. She is Lena's cousin, and she plays a pretty big role in the book and a very big role in the movie, and they kept that the same, which was very good. But one thing about Ridley in the movie, Ridley turns into a dark caster, and in the book, she's a dark caster also, but not nearly as dark as she is in the movie. In the movie, she kills people, like, she's driving in front of this cop, and she's sucking on her little, no, she's eating chocolate strawberries. In the book, she eats lollipops, but for some reason in the movie, she eats these chocolate strawberries. Well, anyway, she's driving in this car in front of this police officer, and she's smacking away on her strawberry, and she looks in the rearview mirror with her golden eyes, and makes eye contact with the police officer, and bam, he's dead. He drives off the road, and in the book, that doesn't happen. And also, in the movie, when she turns dark, she lures some kids into the middle of the train track, and they get hit by the train, and that doesn't happen in the book either. Macon Ravenwood also plays a very important part at the end of the book, and they kept his part the same, which I really liked, because it's kind of important, and it really affects Lena Duquesne, and I'm just glad they kept it in the movie, because I'm glad they kept it in the movie. To the end of the movie, the prom is a big part of this book, and so is the 16 Moon Songs. The 16 Moon Songs is like throughout the whole book. It's not even in the movie. Overall, though, I would give the movie a 4 out of 5 stars because, as I said, it was directed very well. Everything was very detailed and very great. But another thing about the movie is apparently Lena has the power to, like, erase Ethan's memory, which she can't. Also, in the book, the casters have, like, their own little things, like, kind of things they're, like, were born to do. Like, Lena, for example, she's a natural, which means she can naturally do things without even thinking about them, kind of. And, there's, like, they're like, cataclysms or something, but they can, like, read minds and control people. And then there's sirens, like, Ridley is a siren in the book, and she can control anybody she wants and make them do anything she wants. But in the movie, that aspect was missing, and it kind of took away from it, but I also saw the movie before I read the book, so it didn't bother me as much. And I know some other booktubers who are doing the book and movie review were very ticked that that aspect was missing from the movie. I don't want to say much more about the movie and the book because I've pretty much already spoiled the ending for most of you, but go read this book because it's very good. And it's very good. And it took me a while to read. It's like 534 pages. That is all I have to say for Beautiful Creatures. So go watch the movie and read the book. I'm sure you'll love both of them. But I'm also going to be finishing Cinder by Marissa Mayer. And I'm already partway through. I think if you can see that. I'm already partway through, so I'm going to finish that quickly. And I've also made some drastic changes to my to-be-read list. I was anticipating reading Starters by Lissa Price and The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd, but I have taken those off my list, and I'm going to finish Cinder, as I said, and I'm also going to read The Host, because I want to see the movie, and this is also a very big book, and I want to finish it before I see the movie, because, like I said, not so good when I see the movie before I read the book. So yeah, guys, go check out all these books. If you like this review, please favorite it, like it, subscribe, whatever. Mostly subscribe. And I hope you watch my other videos. I'm going to have more soon. And I'm going to get out of this reading slump because that's what I've been doing lately. Slumping. Please subscribe!